morning, everybody. As you can see, I'm getting hit right now, sweating my butt off. Whoever invented these hats that fit in the freezer, thank God. Um, thank God I have a place to stay. Some targets don't have a place to stay, and I pray for y'all every night that God would open a door for y'all. I spent 9 years homeless on the streets. Wouldn't go to shelters. Well, I would go to shelters sometime, but most of the time there was perps there. And sometimes the shelters would say, "Oh, we can't take you," blah, blah, blah. And I don't got nothing on my record or nothing like that that would keep any shelter from taking me. There was no reason. It was just straight up blacklisting. I had churches turn me down homeless for food. Uh, I remember I was so exhausted in Pensacola, Florida. I was so blacklisted in Pensacola, Florida. No food place would help me. I couldn't get clothes, couldn't get a shelter, and I was just stuck. And it was summertime, real hot. It had been like, I hadn't changed clothes in like 2 weeks, hadn't had a shower, and I went in Dollar General, and I admit it. I got caught stealing in Dollar General food, nothing else but food because I was hungry. And I admit it, yeah, I went in Dollar General to get some food. They caught me stealing, and I remember telling the dude, "What you gonna do? Put me in jail? Just do me a favor. I'll get food and a place to stay for the night." And he thought about it, and he said, "Go on, man." I was so worn out and exhausted, I was like, "Take me to jail. I don't care." It's pitiful to be in that state. Nobody should have to be in a state of mind like that. But I was so blacklisted and hated, gang stalked, and just treated so badly in that city, man. And I didn't care. I was so exhausted. I was ready to go to jail to get rest. I didn't care. If they put me in jail, I get a food, rest, and a shower. Sad to be in that situation, and nobody should be in that situation. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about smart cities. I got a good video with an example of a guy in a smart city in China, a real video of a smart city, because there are smart cities in China. It's going to show how it goes and stuff, but I'm going to talk about smart cities and community-based agents, smart city technology, this as it's used on targets, and then we're going to show you what a smart city is, and then the video is going to switch to man talking about smart cities in front of a city council. So I'm gonna start off with a devotion, then I'm gonna read the information I have for y'all, and then I'm gonna go into the two videos back to back. I'm gonna merge them. Also, hollyspunk@gmail.com if you're interested in coming on here, telling your testimony, getting your story out. I'm trying to really get these stories out. So the more people we have and the more interviews we get out, the more we can show this is real. All right, so I'm going to start off with a devotion. Victims often become victimizers like those who perpetrate us. Most gang stalkers are sociopaths. They are good at making their way into gang stalking and harassment subculture. They manipulate and bait people into doing self-destructive behavior. They will use whatever we desire as a trap to sabotage us, even if it means causing us to have an accident. They feed off our misery. There's no sense in crying over it because that just makes their day. We must find our strength in God since our battle is to overcome the world. Instead of asking God to remove our problems, we should ask how to handle them. We do not have to be perfect to make progress. We will be lifted up when the wrath of God comes to the world. Okay, so here we go with this information. Thank all my supporters that watched and believed in my channel from day one. I started off under a bridge. If you go back to my first video, homeless, ended up in the hospital 45 days, and I said, you know what? I'm going to get this story out there and I'm going to get this stuff out here and start exposing and raising awareness, because if I had these videos back in 2015 when I was first targeted, didn't understand what was going on, thought I was going crazy. If I'd have had these videos, it would have saved me 3 suicide attempts, and some serious time in the hospital, 2 blood transfusions, all that. So that's what this channel is about. It's raising awareness. Also, getting people's testimonies. I used to tell my family, well, look at all these people on YouTube that's saying this is happening to them. Well, this collection I'm starting is a whole collection. That way you don't have to bounce from YouTube channel to YouTube channel showing people, well, look at this person. I got all these stories lined up on my channel. All right, here we go. Community-based agents are the ones who control the organized stalking used against activists, dissidents, whistleblowers, and whatever you want to call target individuals. You know, it's more than just activists, dissidents, whistleblowers. A lot more people going through it. Intelligence agents are targeting activists, whistleblowers, and dissidents, and more. Even real space groups using community-based agents. There are persons responsible for the organized stalking, gaslighting, etc., used against target individual, which are most always prior military, government, retired law enforcement, and so on. People who have some degree of expertise in the area of surveillance and counter surveillance. CBAs are used by shadow government to target victims for training, research, and development, artificial superintelligence technologies. They're called community-based agents. The CBAs made many mistakes, which allowed people to find out. Well, I'm going to skip that part. Since 9/11, each private detective security consultant has to register with the state registry they work in, even if temporary workers, such as those under contract, literally overnight, several private detectives moved in. Well, that's something else for somebody else's information. These prior, these prior military, retired law enforcement, so on, have security clearances, and they keep those security clearances after they retire, allows them to double dip their pension while being paid under the table as a CBA to cloak the paradigm of torture and assassination against targeted individuals. Using smart city technology, these community-based agents have access to automated, active, and adaptive system of real-time exascale artificial superintelligence supercomputers, which are coordinating, analyzing, predicting, and enabling and directing the paradigm of organized stalking against targeted individuals in real time, allowing CIA, DIA hive mind teams hiding behind and using law enforcement agencies to do their dirty work to utilize police departments and their army of informants turned into provocateurs against the victim to predict and detect in advance the choice reference patterns of the target individuals as those choices or memories are forming in real time, enabling fusion centers and CBAs to take proactive measure to stay ahead of or counter in real time the target individual and potentially prevent the mind control victim from defeating the remote neuromonitoring system technology. Artificial superintelligence supercomputers via a separate intranet are using a strategy called interconnection via the internet to exchange real-time data and information between CBAs or community-based agents and their army of informants or provocateurs to the locations and activities of the victim, achievable in real time because of the Internet of Things. Target individuals' daily activities and other information is more effectively triaged and analyzed for actionable insights and subsequently disseminated to appropriate agencies and individuals, surveillance teams, organized stalkers, etc., in a useful time frame. This allows community-based agents to take proactive measures to stay ahead of and evaluate any new incident patterns throughout the city as the target individual tries to function and survive. This allows the fusion centers to forecast the favorite hotspots of the TI, to proactively allocate resources and deploy personnel, organized stalking, resulting in improved force effectiveness to neutralize the activist, dissident, whistleblower, and more different people. I don't like this category in them three. So to neutralize the TI. So I'm going to read that again. This allows fusion centers to forecast the favorite hotspots of the TI, to proactively allocate resources and deploy personnel or organized stalking, resulting in improved force effectiveness to neutralize the TI. Digital video tech around the world is growing both in the private sector and public sector. The remote neuromonitoring supercomputers use analytics on these digital video systems for real-time operations and can generate alerts in real time based on certain events concerning the victim, but also for use as a forensic tool against the victim. Example given: stalking. Smart city technologies are utilizing smart surveillance systems, SSS, which allows the remote neuromonitoring system to piggyback off law enforcement agencies and use digital video monitoring systems against the mind control victim. That offering enables the end users, hive mind teams, surveillance teams to view, monitor, and digitally record the daily activities of the TI, while archiving it all over an IP and network, allowing real-time access to critical information regarding the daily activities of the victim as the target moves around the city. Everything they do is a game of deception and manipulation, nothing more. Do not accept anything they say as truth, and do not acknowledge anything the system interrogates you about as truth. The system will take random bits of anything it captures through your senses and fabricate stories which they will use to harass and interrogate you with no intention other than to distract and torture you into submission's influence. And the end goal of that is to create a cognitive model for your brain, map out your brain. So anyway, so what's fixing to happen is I'm fixing to show you a video of a smart city in China, 6-minute video, very informative video, and then there's going to be a man standing in front of the city council explaining what smart cities is, and just it's like a one minute video merged in, just an add on to further show you what the end goal is with this smart city. Smart city technologies are the grid's set in America already. However, smart cities have not been built yet. But I heard that, there's one in Canada, some in China. But man, if it ever goes this far as they have in China, we're in trouble. You have social credit scores. If you don't fit social credit score, if you don't fit a certain spot in a social credit score, you can't do certain stuff. They're going to talk about this in this video. It's an example. They're following this guy around. They're telling his story of his life in a smart city. So this is real footage of a real story and real footage of a smart city and what's going on in these smart cities in China. Yet to come over here. Let's hope not. But AI is taking over jobs and everything. So I really think it'll be over here one day. That's what they're going to try to put in place in America and everywhere. So anyway, God bless y'all. I keep Ti in my prayers. I hope you do the same for us. And I will merge the video in right now.
避险，意味着你避险意味着你将来坐飞机呀、高消费呀，或者是什么贷款呐、都不能做了，都不可以。
Zhang Yingjie co-signed a loan for a friend who later skipped out. He paid his share, but the local court didn't care.
我前2天去淄博，赶上暑假没有票了，我就得买这个头等舱，结果是说你信用度不够，不能买头等舱。我回来没办法，不能还是没有座位，回来坐这个大巴，高铁不是4个小时就到了，大巴车得10个多小时。
4 million people have been blocked from buying high-speed train tickets over low social credit, and more than 11 million from buying flights. To raise his score, Zhang gets in line at a local community office to donate money the government says will go to charity.
捐100的居多，再有捐1000的、600的、500的都有，都可以加分。
Zhang keeps track of his social score closely, but he doesn't keep track of where his donations end up.
你这个具体给谁完了接？你问他，具体得问他，我也不知道这个事。我现在已经通过讯写，通过捐款啊，通过做义工来给自己加分。
The system might have caused him to suffer, but Zhang is unwavering in his support for the government's push to score him.
这是通过这种制度来约束很多不自觉的人。
By 2020, China plans to track, rate, reward, and punish all of its citizens, essentially turning every personal experience into a transaction. Not that Zhang minds. He's got his high score back. At least for now.
现在通过做好人好事，通过这个捐款呐、加分呐、我现在高铁票能买了，终于成为是正常人了。
Je pense qu'on a mis en place une bonne méthode technologique. Et j'espère vraiment qu'on arrivera à l'exporter dans un pays capitaliste. Je trouve que la France devrait vite adopter notre système de crédit social pour régler ses mouvements sociaux. Si vous aviez eu le système de crédit social, il n'y aurait jamais eu les gilets jaunes. On aurait détecté ça avant qu'ils agissent. On aurait pu le prévoir, il n'y aurait pas eu ces événements. C'est l'un des atouts, l'un des grands avantages du crédit social.
Okay, so I'm in the Walmart in London, and I'm thinking all this is cameras for when? Tell me. They're here. In front of the meat section. And here, in the egg department. All along. Hello? I know you're there. Like, what is this saying? Since these doors went up, I did. Since these doors went up, these cameras are here. They're all over the place.
What, you asked, does any of this have to do with 15-minute smart cities? Absolutely everything. SMART, S for surveillance, M for monitoring, A for analysis, R for reporting, and T for technology. Technology News editor Patrick Wood, 50 years of experience and expertise on technocracy, wrote, "The 15-minute city is a cover for data collection bonanza for technocrats who design and operate them. Cities designed for maximum efficiency always reveal technocrat thinking that efficiency itself is the goal. Maximum surveillance allows for maximum control to achieve even more efficiency." At its very root, this mechanistic thinking is anti-human. The 15-minute city narrative seeks to fool you in the guise of saving the planet, keeping you safe, and delivering convenience. It's actually the gateway to digital IDs and CBDC, central bank digital currencies. CBDCs allow bankers and/or governments to freeze your bank account because you happen to peacefully and lawfully protest and express your disagreement with government policy. Anyone remember the truckers' convoy in Ottawa, February 22, when the Government of Canada invoked the Emergencies Act and froze the private bank accounts of law-abiding citizens? 15-minute cities are wolves in sheep's clothing. Don't believe the countless stories spewing forth from the 24/7 basis from the elitist captured mainstream media, all claiming to have your best interests at heart. We have been burned too many times.